So how would you like to slide through the grocery store without one added sugar in your basket? Well, in order to do that, you're going to have to become a sugar sleuth. So on Saturday, we removed the obvious sugars out of our pantries and refrigerators and freezers. And then on Sunday, we talked about the emotions around all of that, around those sugary foods. We're going to talk a little bit more about that today. And then Monday, we realized the large amount of sneaky sugars that are in the processed foods that we eat. It's been a week so far, hasn't it? Today is a significant day. So ask yourself, is it possible for you to spend the rest of the week with no sugar? Is it possible? Sure it is. You got this. But why is it important to do this? Of course, we all want to lose weight, but there's even more. There's more reasons why this is important. So, sugar is one of 5 of the most toxic chemicals that you can put into your body. Let that sit there for a minute. And it's actually number 1 of 5. So the other 4 are nicotine, alcohol, caffeine, and then the other chemicals that are from the air and the food that we eat and the water that we're exposed to or we take in with toxic chemicals in there. And we can work on detoxing those other toxic chemicals during my year-long healthy living lifestyle program. Okay, and the thing about sugar is that it's the first compulsive habit starting as an infant. When we were an infant, we were loved and we were nurtured with our first food, which was milk sugar. And using it and daily consumption almost ensures that we'll have addictions later in life. Because what happens is that sweetness equals love, right? Sweetness equals love. Presence of sugars in processed food almost ensures the presence of those sugars in your diet every day. So remember that the presence of sugar in these kind of foods is due to the way that these original foods are actually overcooked by food manufacturers. They remove all the vitamins, all the enzymes, any nutrients that are in the foods that they're cooking because they cook them over 118 degrees. What happens is the food no longer tastes like anything. And so the sugar that they add makes it palatable. And the salt also makes it palatable. It also preserves the food. And then they put vitamins in those processed food so that the food manufacturers can claim that it's healthy in some way. And there's a lot of different claims out there. They're on all the boxes, usually, of how they're healthy because they put vitamins in there because they're not natural whole foods. Let's talk a little bit about yesterday's recapping. And for those who don't know me, I'm Carol Berg with Verdure Wellness. So yesterday we watched a video about the sneaky sugars that are in these processed food products. And if you haven't had a chance to watch it, I recommend that you do that. And we had a couple of posting activities. The first posting activity was to post a category of food from your sugar journal of Eat This, Not That you're committed to accomplishing. And then the second activity was to post a picture or a comment of the worst sugar thing you've ever eaten that you no longer eat, and why not. Now maybe you're just deciding what that is, and that's okay. Or maybe it's something from the past that you decide that you just can no longer eat that because it's just too much. So I'm curious, I'd like to know what those are. And those were yesterday's posting. What are the 3 main problems with sweets? One more thing, would you like to age slower? Who wouldn't, right? Especially the older we get, the more we want to age slower. Slow down, stop it, right? Well, let's talk about some things. So it's the empty calories from sugars and sweet foods. Although they give us quick energy, it stresses our body because our body then has to work harder to remove those toxins, store the excess, and then release it whenever possible. And that in itself, that extra energy that the body spends on that, ages our body more rapidly. And sugars and starchy foods destroy our tooth enamel also. This is a really important point because tooth decay is a lifelong continual issue with far-reaching consequences, some of them that we never imagined could happen due to sugar. And myself, I experienced it through the development of a spinal cord tumor due to long-term effects of dental x-rays. And I had dental x-rays from the time that I was a little girl because I ate a lot of sugar. A benign tumor, but it still affects the rest of my body through nerve damage that has occurred because of it, and it will affect me for the rest of my life. Something I never considered. Now, some people have had to have root canals, they have to replace their teeth, and others had to remove all their teeth because of decay. So when you have a filling, it never gets better. The teeth never recover from it, and eventually has to be replaced and replaced and replaced. So now about sugar addiction. We talked about the fact that sugar can be an addiction due to the symptoms of binging, craving, and withdrawals, and then of course the cross-sensitization, where you might see a picture of something and then you start to crave it. So the nurses' health studies, these are health studies that have been around since 1976, and they actually investigate the risk factors for major chronic diseases in women. They're now in their third generation, and they've had more than 275,000 people in the studies. They found that the odds of addiction to sugar is high, especially when sugary foods are eaten 5 or more times per week. So let me ask you, do you eat or have you eaten at any point in your life sugary foods more than 5 times per week? I raise my hand. Raise yours if you are at that point. Now that you know about sugar that's in processed food, you have to include that along with the obvious sugar. Let's talk about the best alternative sugars and sweeteners. There's one called Just Like Sugar. Just Like Sugar is an extract from the chicory root. It supplies a basic fiber, which is really important for our digestive system to clean out the toxins, called inulin. And so that supports our digestive system. It looks like sugar, it acts like sugar, it's granulated, and you use about the same amount that you would of sugar. So give that a try. If you like it, use it. It's a great alternative. It doesn't increase your insulin levels, and it's nutritious. The other alternative sugar is stevia, but not stevia in its white powdery processed form. Stevia in its herbal form. And so I don't know if you can see this. I'm going to put a little bit in this lid so you can see how it is. And it's just a dried herb. That's all it is. It's considered an herbal supplement. Originally, or it still is grown in Paraguay and Brazil. It's been used for thousands of years, providing vitamins and minerals and enzymes that actually enhance the digestive system. And it's very sweet. We started using it in our coffee many years ago to stop the sugar cravings, of course. And I drink about 1 cup a day, maybe. My husband drinks about 4 or 5 cups a day. And in that, we use about a half a teaspoon. So it's very, very sweet. I use it in my pies, and in a whole pie, it takes 1/4 cup. And it's very inexpensive. So that is a choice. Those 2 things are good alternatives. If you need sugar in your house, and if you're used to using sugar, especially in cooking or something like that, those are 2 good alternatives, and give them a try. Ask any questions that you want, and I'm happy to answer them. Your daily to-do activities for today, whether you go to a store or use a delivery service to purchase your food, how you grocery shop is going to be your next big test. And it's time to start thinking about how you can best handle the coming days or weeks with regards to grocery shopping. Personally, I think it's easier to use a delivery service because you can choose what you want online and you can ignore the sweets. When you go into the grocery store, there are sweets everywhere. There's sweets at the end of all the aisles, there's sweets at the register, there's sweets everywhere. They make them very obvious, and they're very hard to ignore and put on by Congratulations if you can. I can do it, but it's taken me a long time to learn how to just ignore all of those lovely sweet things that are out there. But that's something to think about, and how you're going to have the support to sleuth by the sugars that you want, not have a reason for picking something up. We don't have any new handouts for today, but I just want to reiterate about my sugar tracker. Be sure to write down the 3 things you want to do every day: to drink water, breathe, and move. Particularly if you feel like you need some sugar, you need to do something. And I want to talk about water just a little bit. A lot of times you hear that you're supposed to drink 8 glasses a day. Well, what is that, and why does it apply to everybody? Because we're all different sizes, right? The best way to do that is to drink half your weight in ounces. So if you weigh 150 pounds, that would be 75 ounces. If you weigh 200 pounds, it would be 100 ounces. And that may sound like a lot, but believe me, as you drink it, it will help to relieve the toxins, and you'll watch yourself lose weight. Now, when you do that, figure out how big your glasses are and the amount of ounces in there. If you use 8-ounce glasses, it's going to take a lot of glasses of water. It's going to discourage, at least it discouraged me. So the smallest I use is a 12-ounce. Sometimes I use a 16-ounce glass, and I know how many glasses a day. I drink about 5 of these a day. You might have to drink 6 or 7, whatever it takes. Drink about half your weight in water. Sugar is a toxin. It washes away the toxins. And even if you are not eating it right now, it's probably stored in your fat cells if you haven't worked to eliminate the toxins in your body. So it's important to get on that water thing. Put it on your sugar tracker. Put the number that you have to do during the day, and make sure you click it off every day. Okay, today I've done about 3. I need to do 2 more. That way you know you've done it. Get very confident and clear with the sugar tracker, or whatever tracker it is. Use it on a regular basis. Using your sugar tracker and choosing a substitute sweet to eat with no sugar, those things are both part of a continuation plan, because this detox is going to end in a couple of days, and then what? So you need some sort of a continuation plan. And so we're starting to work on that right now. And that's why it's just so important. And that's why I didn't want to add anything to your list of things to do. The posting activity, I'm going to put up a poll. It'll be really easy for you. What are your sugar culprits? The things that derail you. Second posting activity is to post a picture of a processed food that you normally eat, that you like to eat, and then find a picture of a substituted item that you're able to substitute with no added sugars in there. And you will be surprised, and just do it online. You're welcome to go to the grocery store if you want, but depending on the product, the grocery store you go to may not have a product with no sugar in it. So it's going to be a little bit of a sleuthing thing that you do to try to find something that you normally have that you don't want to leave behind. Maybe it's chips. I don't know that cookies without sugar is going to occur at a store, but you know, you could go with some sort of a popsicle or something instead of ice cream. You know, different things like that that have no added sugars in them. And just post it. So you can grab the picture, copy the picture online, and post it along with the picture of the item that you're substituting. Show us a picture of the label saying, you know, what the added sugar is for the item that you're substituting, and the item that you're substituting with, that it has no added sugars. I hope that makes sense. I'll be sure to write it out. So to recap, today is the beginning of day 3. By this time tomorrow, you'll reach your peak of the detox, and it may be difficult. I just want you to know that I'm very, very proud of you. All of you who are actively engaging in this sugar detox, and even those of you who are on the sidelines listening in, you'll gain from it too. Just not as much as the people who are posting their activities. Because when we work together, and when we are really clear and honest, and are able to share with each other, we actually win, and we're able to move through these tasks that are really hard to do by ourselves. So acknowledge your wins. I acknowledge you, and I'm so proud of you. Remember, you can reduce and reverse your aging by eliminating sugars in your diet. And pay attention to your daily posting activities. Every day I'll be adding one item to the basket. Those who do all their activities will get an entry for the drawing. So far we've got a body brush and an aromatherapy little diffuser, whoops, upside down, sorry, for your car or your computer. And then for today, you're going to be given a choice of an aromatherapy inhaler that I make. I have appetite suppressant, a wellness inhaler, so if you have allergies right now, this works great for that. And what else do we have here? Well, but I've got 2 appetite suppressants. So anyway, and I also have a stress reliever inhaler. So all of those are great. We use these all the time. In the springtime right now with the cottonwoods going, my husband's always struggling with the cottonwood. And so the allergy reducer just takes those allergy problems away from him. And so he just kind of carries it with him and uses it every time he feels it coming up. So pay attention to those so that you can put your entry in at the end of the detox for the $50 basket with all of these goodies in it. So if you didn't know the 3 main problems with the processed sugars before I signed off, be sure and post it. I'm going to take a look right now. Oh, here we go. Here's all of your comments. Thank you so much for Angela. I appreciate all of that. And Shea, I hope I'm saying that right. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. A predetermined list before grocery shopping is really important. You're absolutely right to eliminate those sugar choices. So run through yesterday's notes and see if you can figure out the 3 main problems with sweets. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow back here, 4 o'clock. Bye.